Good morning. It's about 6:16 a.m. and I just wrapped up a financial update on my other channel, but I did come across this article and I said, ooh, this is definitely what I always thought about, and it's going to be a good one to do on my main channel here. Sentenced to isolation prisons, college students across America are being subjected to a horrid psychological experiment. That's referring to this year, not referring to the last 10 years of the pro-Marxist brainwashing that they've been paying six figures for and going into huge debt for. I don't even think that has nothing to do with what this article is talking about. This article is talking about the fact that these kids are now paying $50,000 a year to be prisoners in their dorm rooms and to literally attend most, if not all, of their classes over Zoom, which should not cost $50,000 a year. But let's read about this experience. Before we jump in, let me just say, folks, if you are in high school, if you are in the United States, please, please, please do not do this. And I did this back in 2006, and back then was a completely different world. We didn't have the Marxist brainwashing in universities yet, for the most part, and I still did this, and that is, go to a community college after high school. Better yet, get a GED in the middle of high school, because you don't need a high school diploma. A GED is good, and go right into a community college. You will pay $2,000 a year, and for the first 2 years, so $4,000 total, and then you can transfer into a university to finish up your last 2 years. It is so much cheaper and so much quicker of getting in and out and getting into your career of your choice. That's my recommendation, but let's read this super fun article about how shitty colleges are now. College, long a fun and liberating experience for many young adults, has become a dreary and oppressive experience for many students living under the weight of a multitude of restrictions imposed at American college campuses in the name of countering the C-19. These restrictions are absurd from the perspective of protecting people's health, given that coronavirus is not particularly dangerous. This is especially the case for the teen and 20-something students. For those relatively young college students, C-19 generally poses very little risk of death. Further, most such young adults experience zero symptoms to minor sickness from the C-19 infection. I have written about the draconian restrictions imposed at college campuses in the name of countering C-19, with some focus on Duke, Syracuse, and the U of Texas and Texas A&M. These are not hand-picked examples of campuses whose college administrators have uniquely imposed harsh rules. The problem is at present many college campuses across America, and is devastating for many students. I didn't read that 100% correctly, but I think you guys got it. Over at the Mass Illusion, Jordan Schachtel has collected testimonials of students who are living in depressing prison-like conditions at colleges all over America. From the University of Alabama, quote, "The whole thing is a bait and switch. We're being forced to pay to attend Zoom classes in our rooms all semester. A few of my friends didn't even come back to town, and I don't blame them. Why would they, when they can get the same education at home?" Let me stop here and say, you guys know that I just moved out of California, right? I think that's been pretty obvious. Why do you think I was able to do that with my partner and my family? Same exact reason here. We are going to work full-time on Zoom at home. Why were we living in the worst and most expensive place in the country when we didn't need to commute into these stupid offices anymore? It's kind of a tangent, but a lot of people have done that. Let's keep reading. I only have two in-person classes. Both meet 1 day a week. One is optional to go to Zoom if you prefer. The other allows 5 students in class at once. We're going on shifts, so week 1, the first 5 go, and then week 2, the second 5 go. I love this university, but if I knew when I was in high school that I'd be staying in my room all day, I would have never gone to any college. Yep, there you go. Tulane University, quote, "No gatherings over 15 people. Everyone's mental health is crumbling, nobody is even sick, and those who quarantine follow the rules. School requires an asymptomatic testing, and there's no end in sight. My guy and girlfriends are all miserable. So many have been like this is a prison, we can't do anything. All bars closed in Louisiana. We gather at local parks, and the cops come to shut it down. No fun ever allowed, and no end in sight." The University of Iowa. They have isolation dorms for C-19 kids, but they are horrid. Guys in hazmat suit come in, 2-week isolation, no visitors, nurse on call, but up to 3-hour wait if you need something. Kids at school now are not getting tested, so they don't get sentenced to the isolation prisons. By the way, let me just jump in there. That is why I never get tested either. Not that I've ever felt symptoms or the need to, but I'm going to tell you right now, folks, and I bet you a bunch of you would agree with me, if you felt like you had it, like somebody was sitting on your chest and you couldn't breathe as well, would you go to the hospital at this point? Only if maybe you knew you were going to get the HCQ Z-Pack cure. I would personally, in the state I'm in, I don't trust the hospitals. I think I'd take my chances at home. Once they know you're positive, they will lock down all your friends and family. I wouldn't do that to them. Middlebury College. Quote, students had to sign a health pledge that they had no say in developing. All students are confined to dorm rooms until C19 tests come back negative. No one is allowed off campus until September 15th. Can they really legally do that? Does that mean like you can't go to a restaurant and come back, or like you literally cannot leave? No visitors on campus all year. School has a Google form so that people can snitch on non-compliers. Oh my God. Town is terrified of students returning. This is in a county in Vermont that has had 5 cases, and the entire state had 55 deaths. They have canceled all fall athletic competitions. Students are back on campus, but most classes will be remote with, of course, a 3% tuition increase. A 3% tuition increase. Oh my God, dude, these colleges are making so much money, and their costs have gone down. This is absurd. I'm getting a little riled up. It's early here. Professors active on reopening communities, so it is not surprising they are pro-lockdown. Local state senator wrote to school president and called college reckless for bringing kids back. They all want to live in a bubble, take that money that the college brings to the community, but have no actual interaction. Southern Methodist University, quote, students must wear masks outside dorm rooms, cannot visit another dorm, threatened with draconian honor code violations if they violate the rules, and orientation was declared all virtual at the last minute. Yet today the athletes, with permission of an active participation by the university, were permitted to organize. Oh my God. Once again, the virus is a smart virus and apparently does not infect anyone as long as you're protesting for BLM or Antifa. This is ridiculous. Honestly, I hope these kids should all be of voting age, and I hope they vote the right way, because this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Oh my God. University of Tennessee Martin, quote, the first 2 weeks of the semester have been very different. At my university, I have to stay in my dorm. Since my college courses are all online, keep in mind, without any tuition deduction, my friends and I have not gotten to leave our dorm to make friends. One way we socialize is opening up our dorm window and talking to people who are walking to their cars or back to their dorms. Oh my God, this is a prison. Another thing we have to do is take a daily C19 report. Even if we do not pass this test, we are not allowed to leave our dorm and will not be allowed to go anywhere at school. As well as a daily 19 report, we can only enter and exit through specific doors. The university has cut off our keys to entering certain ways. For example, if we are walking back from the dining hall, we have to walk to the parking lot behind our dorm to enter our building. This can actually be very dangerous if we find ourselves in a situation we need to enter through the front door and can't because it's locked. All my classes are online. Though they are all online, I am still required to stay on campus, pay for an on-campus housing, and buy a meal plan. Okay, this is straight up prison. If you are one of these folks, get in your car, get on a bus, get on a plane, just hitchhike back home. Get out of there. The campus security is not the police. They cannot lock you up. If you are get off their property with your books and your laptop and do not come back. Tell your roommates to like have your back and say you're somewhere else. I don't know. This is insane. University of Southern Carolina. Roommates are terrified of making a mistake regarding masking, distancing, gatherings. The president basically yells every day that this is not sustainable and threatening to shut it all down. Kids are just waiting for the hammer to drop. It's horrific. After 4 months of quarantine with no friends, she was desperate to go to campus, so we encouraged it. I am sick with worry every day, not about the virus, about the mental anguish and social isolation they are forcing on our kids. Vanderbilt University. Quote, no roommates, all online classes, no in-person activities, dining halls closed, libraries closed except under very strict guidance, no visiting another dorm room, 6-foot distance at all times, mask mandatory when not in dorm room, cannot leave the Nashville area, circles drawn on the quad area, threats of suspension, expulsion for first offense, security guards posted through campus to enforce rules, kids encouraged to report non-compliance, etc. After having been on campus for a week, my daughter has not met nor spoken to a single person. Oh my God, she is in her dorm room in front of her computer at almost all times, and the only times she really leaves are when she picks up her to-go meals. This is a very depressing situation. This is sad. Like, guys, this goes on and on and on. I'm not going to read all this. I got to get started with my lifting routine. I will link the article in the description of my video. This is a ZeroHedge article. I think it just came out this morning. But this is a super, super, super sad situation. Man, if you are a parent, please don't make your kid go. Pull them back immediately. If your kid is a new college student or in college, just bring them home. Go and get them, please. If you are in high school, do not go to college. Like, honestly, University of Phoenix is the same education at this point. Do it all online from the safety of your home with your family. It's over. The parties are over. The frat parties, the sorority parties, the games, the cheerleading, the drugs, the alcohol. It's all over. Stay home. Do not subject yourself to this, all right? And that is my main channel video for today. Take care.